Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, well, of most ages, good morning and welcome to Friday Morning Magic, the most amazing, electrifying, and entertaining live stream that you will find on this channel at this moment. You all know me, my name is Josh. I want to start by saying a shout out to everyone in the chat. Good morning, keeping me company early. I'm not normally here early, but it has been a wild day, and we have tons to talk about this morning. I see a couple familiar faces in the chat. Dr. Feelgood, Grasshopper. We got Liberty Jones back. Jim Williams, OG Jim Williams. Stream Goat, Channel Goat, Devin Mychan. What's going on? V Market, Scott MC, Wildlands TCG. Guys, if you haven't yet, check out the Wildlands TCG. Will be up and coming. They messaged me about some amazing stuff they're doing. And I always say, anyone who can make a TCG is an impressive human being. That is something that is so far beyond me. Warren Braxton showing up. OG Warren Braxton, what's going on? Colin, good morning, everyone. I want to cheers each and every one of you. I hope all of you have some coffee, some kind of caffeine. We want to start our morning off right. Here on Friday Morning Magic, we like to have amazing conversations, have some fun, and give us something to talk about when it comes to our hobbies over the weekend. We got Friday Night Magic. We got stuff going on all weekend. We like to have something to talk about. So as we filter in, I'm going to take a sip of coffee because you guys know I talk a lot. I need to have a little bit of caffeine in my belly. Oh. So, we've got so much to talk about, and as you filter in, as I say good morning to everyone, I will admit, as I said to you all, if you were here early, you got a little preview. I have a confession. I have to confess. I have to do one of those YouTube confessions where I sit in front of the camera and I talk about what I did wrong and how I'm going to be better to each and every one of you. That is going to be rough. But then we have some market manipulation that we have to talk about, and I had to double check. I left the window up from last night just to make sure it would still be there. I will check again, and that was actually pointed in my direction by a viewer that reached out to me on social media. I'm pulling up the name right now to give proper credit, because I don't like to take credit when other people point things in my point me in the right direction. Mr. Drew pointed me in the right direction about the crazy market manipulation around the One Ring. So shout out, Drew. Thank you so much. Okay, so we have the Commandant. Wow, what a YouTube name. The Commandant pointing out that coffee should be warm. I will tell you, in the summertime shy, as they say, I like cold coffee. I do. I am all for the warm coffee in the winter. Listen, I get it. A cup of warm coffee. And when I drink warm coffee, no cream, no sugar, just the coffee as it was intended by nature. But in the summer, there's nothing quite like a nice coffee. Normally it's accompanied with a walk, but for those who don't know, the air quality in Chicagoland is wild right now. Let me pull this up. Let me see if we can pull up an image of the air quality in Chicago because of the crazy winds and fires that are going on. We don't normally pop over this early, but like, it's insane. It's wild. Like, whew, you can't even see. So we can't take the baby outside. We can't do any of it. It's a crazy experience. It's getting better. It's getting better. So good morning, everyone. Good morning. Postponed. Colin again. Commandant Rob. Good morning. Jim Williams. Yes, it is supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be in my area. I don't know. We're talking about local weather on the live stream. It's supposed to be 91. It's going to be great. Whoo! Scheming Skeleton. Good morning. Love your channel. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you so much. All right. It's confession time, and I hate to have to do this. We're going to have some fun. I just have to get serious with you all right now. On Friday Morning Magic, I take this live stream extremely seriously. I find this live stream in the morning is one of the most fun I get to have throughout the week as far as content is concerned. I love every second of hanging out with you all. I truly do. But I will admit something to each and every one of you. I've lied to you today. I've let you down. And I need to be better. I had an entire coffee before getting on the live stream. It is always the practice that my first sip of coffee for the day is with each and every one of you. But I was up early today. The baby slept in. We went to Starbucks together as a family because we had so much extra time. And I had a whole coffee. And as we've talked about on the stream, when you go to Starbucks, this is like $4. It's like $4.50. You have to dollar cost average down. You have to get the refill. And if you don't get the refill, you're wasting your money. And I couldn't bring myself to do it. So I've let you all down. But I hope next week you'll give me another opportunity to have my first sip of coffee with each and every one of you. So again, this is my YouTube confession. I hope I can put some somber music and maybe like a gray scale filter over this. And you can know that I will do and be better. I have scammed you all out of that first sip of coffee. Thank you all for hanging out this morning. Good morning, good morning. We have lots to talk about. We have market manipulation when it comes to the price of the ring. We have a wonderful conversation that I've been wanting to get into for some time about indie trading card games with Lorcana right around the corner, Flesh and Blood Dusk Till Dawn, and Sorcery dropping like bombs all over the TCG world. It's fair to ask, like, hey, can an indie TCG overtake Magic? What is the fallout if you're Wizards of the Coast, if you're Magic the Gathering, when it comes to all these indie TCGs? And then, of course, the Commander Masters conversation is looming. Commander Masters is right around the corner. Can we stay interested in Lord of the Rings? Will we migrate onto Commander Masters smoothly? And do I still have a problem with it? I have said before, I kind of have a problem with Commander Masters. It'll be interesting to talk about. But good morning to each and every one of you. Let's get into some Lord of the Rings conversations. And I want to know, from the people in chat, I want to know if you bought Lord of the Rings. Did you buy anything? from Lord of the Rings. I have to know. So let me know in the comments section, in the poll, did you buy anything from the Lord of the Rings? Let me know. The poll should be going live right now. My chat, YouTube is wild. I'm also in that phase that every adult goes through where we need a haircut. And instead of getting a haircut, especially when you work from home, we just wear hats. That's just what we do. Instead of getting a haircut, I'm just wearing a hat because that's what I'm doing. So let me know. Engage with the poll if you could. If you haven't, hit the like button because it helps spread the stream. And let's get into some market conversation. And to have the market conversation, you know where we are going. We use TCG Player because I believe it is a great gauge on how the community feels about a set. Let's get this out of the way right now. TCG Player, the sales on TCG Player don't represent the market as a whole. They never can, right? It's such a small piece of the pie when it comes to something like Magic the Gathering. I argue it's a little bit bigger with indie TCGs, but with Magic the Gathering, Magic is massive. It's too big. So indie TCG Player can't represent a large enough portion of the sales for us to know how much of the product sells overall. But what we can know is how products sell in comparison to one another and in comparison to themselves. So based on this, we can gauge the success and popularity of given sets. So that's what we, oh my gosh, my phone just like kicked off with the live stream. What is going on? That scared the bejesus out of me. So that's what we like to use for the TCG Player numbers for. But TCG Player this week popped off. And again, I believe it was, I'm going to pop over here. I'm going to not leak DMs. It was Drew. Shout out Drew. It was Drew that let me know there's a lot going on in this market. And mainly when we come to look at the One Ring. Now, it's no secret, the One Ring is a wild price. It's crazy. And this card comes in bundles. In the regular bundles, you can get a copy of this card, and every copy of this card is extremely expensive. But shout out Drew for reaching out and then pointing out some of these wild things happening on TCG Player. And we notice here, there is a brick of sales of 39, 49, 43, 44, 45, 48, 52, 53 sales here of this card, all at a single dollar. The conspiracy theory music needs to go off right now. Oh, background music. We should have started some background music. I have special background music for today. I have Lord of the Rings themed lo-fi background music. Lord of the Rings themed lo-fi background music for today's stream. Let's turn it down. Let's turn it down. Let me know about the volume if the music is too loud, too quiet, however. But this is extremely wild. I never thought this would be the case of something that I looked at, seeing this crazy sales structure. And that's why for my program where I interact with TCG Player sales, I do run back over some days where I notice some crazy sales because I assume these will fall off. But what is it for? Why is this happening? Well, there's a couple theories going out, and the big one is trying to manipulate the price of this card. Putting out 29 listings of this card, selling them all for $1 is not going to affect the rest of the market as a whole super wildly, but a 29 sale listing could possibly affect this graph that we're looking at. What it could do is it could spike some fear, spike some rush sales into people, force them to list the card on the market, and then try to drive that price down. That, unfortunately, here is clearly not working because, as we can see, it is still available for $89.99. Now, do not fret, do not fear. I think it's important to note that this... Wait, we're experiencing a lot of interruptions via YouTube this morning. If the stream is cutting out, let me know. Let me know if the stream is cutting out. What we're seeing here is a lot of these sales will eventually fall off. So as we refresh the window here, we should see that there have been more sales since, and the sales will eventually fall off the data sheet. But do you think that people are doing this because they're trying to get their hands on copies of cards? Do you think they're doing it because they want to sell more cards? Why do you think this is happening? I have my own theories. I want to hear from you in chat and answer some of what you guys have going on. But as we think about that, it's important to note that it's not only the One Ring that's experiencing some of this craziness. I am freezing all over the place. Guys, is the stream dying? What is going on? Anyway, let's go to the Lord of the Rings Tales of Middle-earth and let's see what is selling. This is, I apologize for all the interruptions. The stream, I don't know, is there too many of you in the stream? Are you guys blowing up the literal internet? Are you literally destroying the internet? The big seller here, the most popular card, is 100% going to be things like this Mirkwood Bats. This has been claimed to be a Commander staple across the format since it was printed. People couldn't imagine. They were like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe Wizards of the Coast printed this card. And listen, looking at the sell-through rate and the number of copies of this card selling, this is going to be a wild card. We even see, as you can note, some speculators in on this card. Now, we'll talk in a second about I think speculating on individual cards is dicey at this point in a set like this, and I'll tell you why in a second. But you can get a non-foil copy of this card. You know, they're running out 30 or 40 cents, and even the foil's not bad. $1 for the foil, like, that's not bad at all. But this card is so wildly popular because it has such an impact on the most dominant format, the most prominent format, the most highly played format across all of Magic the Gathering, that I can just imagine this is going to be something where it won't hold much value. But in my opinion, people will look into the future and be like, oh, I'm excited to open this card. When they revisit the set and reopen boxes, there is a comment in here that when they open it, they're like, oh, I remember this. This is super fun. I think cards like this go miles and miles when it comes to helping us re-engage with the product, helping us build that emotional connection that we always talk about on this channel. And something like this, being in the common slot, is pretty safe from any kind of market manipulation. It would take so much work and so much money to buy this out in such numbers where it would affect the price. I just don't think that could happen. I want to know from you guys, though. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat really quick about some of these cards. And listen, we're going to pause the background music because the background music just keeps on skipping. The video streaming quality is not great in my area, so we're going to pause that, the background music, and we're going to talk about what you guys are saying in the live chat. So you're saying you're good on my end. 45 folks in the stream. Let's go. Nick, thanks for pointing that out. Welcome to yours to each and every one of you. And when it comes to market manipulation, what do you guys think about this? We have the ring and a ton of sales. It was 50 some odd sales at $1. These are clearly manipulative and false and not real sales. Chris, thank you for pointing that out. Josh, fantastic name. Go in place. I'm going to say that every week. That joke is going to get old for you, but thank you so much for hanging out. Narand, thank you. Welcome to the stream. Longtime channel viewer, consistent channel commenter, getting to join us on the live stream. Let's go. Grasshopper can't find bundles at the LGS, and that might be another thing to point out when it comes to market manipulation at the local game store level. When you talk about market manipulation, you also have to think about the sealed product. So let's take a look. Let's pop over to the sealed products, and as we do each week, let's check how they're doing. Like, listen, this is the biggest no surprise in the entire universe. This is a $48. I wish $482 freaking dollars for this box. I did a post earlier this week that shipped to your door. I believe it is like $512. And this right here, do we see this? Do we see this up top? Do we see this? 8% store credit on all products. You see this? You see this? This message? This message may sell more Lord of the Rings than we've seen in some time. Let's take a look at the continued sell-through rate. It is the 30th. It is 8:15 Central Time on the 30th right now. And this, look at the number of sales. I cannot wait to update the sales data this week to talk about how much of this product is just constantly selling through. And this is why these sales right here, if we do have a presumed 250,000 print run. That is assumed. I am not speculating on print run. Don't accuse me of speculating on print run. Those who know, I am not speculating on print run. However, if there is an actual 250,000 boxes being printed, 250,000 boxes available, this product might be the first Magic product we have seen in some time to actually sell out. That's right, actually sell out, the collector booster box. But that leads me to the discussion about things like Mirkwood bats, things like the Nazgul, and things that can come in the set and draft booster boxes. I truly believe, and I say this with no proof whatsoever. I do not have any inside information. In fact, at this very moment, there is no word of a restock, and people are, I believe, starting to panic. Pinky little bit. I cannot imagine they don't reprint the draft and set boxes. We talked about the conspiracy theory about how they can print these things up till 2025. I cannot imagine we're Wizards of the Coast, known for printing everything into the ground. Well, I'll say it again. I say it weekly. We talk about it every week. Look how they massacred my boy. They killed him. They done killed him. If they print everything into the ground and they don't have a clause in their agreement where they can reprint this product, I know they can't reprint collector. Like we have the workaround with the November collector, which that might be spicy too. But if they don't reprint draft and set boxes, what a blunder. What a miss. What a whiff. The one product where we want the set and draft box on the shelves and they don't reprint it. Oh, I can't see that world. But going back to the prices, this is why things like Mirkwood bats and the Nazgul and the prices on cards like this, I'm a little bit hesitant on. I actually want to collect some of these things as well, but I'm holding firm in my belief that these boxes are coming back. I do not advise anyone to do this or buy, or you do what makes you happy and what you believe. This is what I believe, and the reason I believe that is just because I can't imagine Wizards of the Coast doesn't reprint something. That is just not in my vocabulary. But if they do, I think boxes like the set booster box, the draft booster box, still probably trickle down in price a little bit. They probably won't. They cannot crash. It's just too popular. But I believe they trickle down a little bit. And if they do, I think there becomes a wonderful opportunity to pick up a lot of cards that can be found in this product. And look, this is a win for local game stores. This is such a win. You get a large initial stock. You get to push that initial stock out the door, satisfy your customers, satisfy the player base. The secondary market is happy. And then for anyone who wants to re-engage, there would be product on the shelves. I don't like to talk about too many like perfection scenarios and little birdies in the sky and everyone is happy, but I really think that there's a wonderful opportunity there for Wizards to reprint some of this stuff and leave Streets of New Capenna alone. I love that set. Stop killing it. Let's see what you guys are saying in the chat. Thank you for introducing me to Lord of the Rings Lo-Fi. Let's see if we can get it going again. Lord of the Rings Lo-Fi this morning to get the stream music going. It was wild that was constantly cutting in and out, cutting in and out, cutting in and out. I did not see that coming, to be honest with you guys, so thank you so much. Can't wait for gift bundles next week. Naran, gift bundles are going to be their own beast. Now, is the ring in a gift bundle? Is it out there? Is it in some kid's bike spokes right now? Is it in someone's binder? Who knows? There's a million rumors circulating about the One Ring. We're not really sure where it is at the moment. Adam Moore, to answer the survey, I pre-ordered 10 collector boxes a while ago at around $4.20 each, opened 6, still have 4 sealed, also got a bundle, have 2 gift bundles pre-ordered. You are going hard. That is an impressive order. Wow. Chris, I would like to see the prices people are listing collector singles from now too. They're sold out almost everywhere around me. Yes, collector boxes are sold out. Listen, I am lucky enough to be partnered with MinMax Games. They're a massive game store that move a lot of product to a large community, and they sold out of this stuff almost instantly. It was wild. So shout out to them, and to each and every one of you. If you're not, make sure you sign up for their mailing list, because if you're on their preferred mailing list and when they get popular products back in stock, they do a thing called price lock, or whatever price you pre-order them at. Whenever you order your product, it will be locked and it will never go up. They will never cancel your order. You have all guaranteed orders, but they will also notify you like, hey, we got some more of this stuff in. If you're on our mailing list, you get first dibs. And I think they'll do the same if they get set and draft boxes and things like that back. So just make sure you get a chance. MinMaxGames.com. This turns into an ad read. I don't do them often, but when I do, it's because I truly believe in the company I'm partnered with. It makes me happy. They do things the right way. They're definitely going to reprint this set. Warren, I 100% agree with you. I don't see how they can't. It doesn't seem possible. This is Weiss. Good morning. Canada has a metric ton of boxes. Is that true? Can I get other Canadians to confirm? Does Canada have a metric ton of boxes? One of my last purchases about MTG, most recently I I have bought some Lord of the Rings. I engaged pretty heavily. I haven't picked it up yet. I engaged pretty heavily in March of the Machine. And then I have done a bunch of collection buying, which we've talked about on this channel. I don't know if I have. I think I put my collections back. I have the one. I'm currently collecting all of the DCI Player Rewards series. So all of the full art Player Rewards series. The big hitter here is going to be Wasteland. And this goes along with my belief in collecting. Most of the cards in this binder are, Mateo, are only like $1. They're $1, they're $2. They're not expensive cards, but they're a collection from a super relevant time in Magic that makes me very happy. So that's what I'm collecting right now. That and Gilded Foil Charms. And let's do a quick check-in while we're here. Mateo, that's a wonderful point. Let's do a check-in on Gilded Foil Charms. I currently own, for those who don't know, I own about 100 copies of every Gilded Foil Charm. Not because I'm speculating and not because this is financial advice. I still have to say that on YouTube. It's a wild time we live in, but I like them. I love Streets of New Capenna. I think it's an amazing set, and the Gilded Foil treatment, I think, is one of the most underrated treatments in the entire history of Magic the Gathering. I love it so much. So I have a bunch of Gilded Foil Charms. This is not advice. Don't take it that way. But I bought hundreds of copies of each, and I just enjoy them. And for a while, I will admit, I bought those copies, and the prices went a little bit higher. They were sitting at 40, 50 cents, somewhere $1. It was a wild time, but now it looks like prices have come back down to a reasonable amount, and that means it might be time for me to buy some more Gilded Foil Charms, you know what I'm saying? I love these cards. I think they're beautiful, and I think they're versatile game pieces that have a lot of run in some popular formats, mainly Commander. I think as Commander power level comes down, which is a very common thing in my opinion, because we're getting new Commander cards, we're focused on building 20 Commander decks rather than 2 super powerful ones. I think these charms are great throw-ins in most Commander decks that, you know, serve these kind of colors. And frankly, again, I just like them. They are something that make me happy. Listen, for those saying Capenna's a new set, you have a fan in me. If you had a like button, I would push it. I would push your like button because you like Streets of New Capenna, and that means I like you. Like, that's just how that works. Just so everyone knows, that's how that works. But let's check in on some of these charms. The Cabaretti charm, I think, is undeniably the worst of the charms. Near mint foil, 57 cents. Like, look at that price spike. Ugh. And then I want to buy a bunch, so I see who's got 4 or more. And if you got 4 or more, like, here's the problem: if you're trying to order 4 or more from one place, so you try to circumvent a bit of shipping, you're paying a wild premium. That's not really something I can get. And this is the worst of the charms. This has got to be here. Let's look at. I like Mastro's charm. This Broker's charm, I think, might be my most underrated charm, but I think people might have caught on. This charm says draw 2 cards. Like, this charm on it says destroy an enchantment, when relevant effect in Commander, and it also has the text, this little bit of text at the end. Instant speed, draw 2 cards, 3 mana. Like, traditionally, spoiler alert, that's good. And like, mana fixing is it's not getting worse. So so 4 or more, and we look, and as you can see, if you're buying 4 or more, you're paying a premium. Oh, I'm tempted to buy those 10 though. Tempted to buy those 10 right here on stream. Okay, let's get out of here before I spend a bunch of money on charms. I need to finish the DCI player reward promo. Those Wastelands are going to be expensive. So the DCI player rewards promos, let's take a look. This is the there's a set. Magic Player Rewards. Let's take a look at this set just so I can give you guys a little insight into what I'm collecting and why I'm doing it. Like, your foil Damnation, which I have a place of, your foil Lightning Bolt at $12.59, you know, terminates $6. Cryptic Command is no longer $40. This is $7, you know, or sorry, listed for $7, but you understand what I'm saying, dude. For the foils, I get near mint copies. Everything else, at least lightly played. But there's a ton of cards in here to start your collection, kind of build that hype and build that fun. At $1, 29 cents, $1.35. These old tokens, look at how cool that looks. Look at how cool that 1/1 Goblin looks. I love these tokens. I really think this is a wonderful opportunity to build a collection, and this is what I'm centering my collection around. Now, if we take a look at the price high to low, there's a killer in here. There's a crusher. there's a nuke. And we're going to talk about a possible asteroid hitting the TCG landscape in a second when we talk about indie TCGs. But this is a nuke. This is going to be rough. The moderately played Wasteland is $250, which means as I collect a playset of near mint, because it's a foil. With the foils, if you don't get near mint, here's the problem. You get all the scratches and the scuffs, especially in the old foils. Oh, but this near mint foil of 300, that's so expensive. That's so expensive. So make sure you keep hitting the subscribe button so we can keep building this collection as the channel grows. Oh, buying 4 of those is good. It's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt my wallet. Oh my goodness. Okay. So the player rewards series I think is super cool. And after that, and this is why I call it such a fun and affordable collection, after that it drops down. Like, you can build this over time. Like, these squirrel tokens, they're not crazy. They're 25, to $50 a piece, which, yes, that is not an insignificant amount of money, but it's a realistic collection that most enthusiasts can build. And that's why I like something like this. And as I say, every time we talk about collections, it's important to note this is I'm not doing it because it's going to be worth a ton of money. Like, that's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because it's something that brings me joy. I love to see it. Whenever I open this binder, it's wild. As I engage with chat, I want to ask, do you want to see the coolest collection of cards that I've never shown on YouTube before? Let me know in chat as I read some of your messages and catch up with you guys. Do you want to see the coolest collection of cards that I currently own? Let me know in chat. I've never shown this on... I've shown this on camera once, and it hasn't come out yet. Let me know. All right, let me see how you guys are doing. You guys are blowing up the chat. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for smashing that like button, smashing that subscribe button, and clicking yes in chat. This is why he says retailer is $385 for USD. I'm assuming that's Lord of the Rings collector booster. That is wild. That is awesome. It looks like a lot of you guys are picking up some good. Rob, to answer the survey, no, I'll pick up singles when I want in 2-3 months when things have settled down. Listen, the singles market is going to be wild, Rob. I totally get you. Wildlands in Toronto, the creator of the Wildlands TCG, is seeing a lot of boxes in Toronto at the LGS. Like, listen, maybe Canada's the secret sauce. Maybe Canada's got all of the boxes. Online at 401 says they have 30-ish boxes. Wow, 30-ish boxes. Like I said, it's a shame MinMax just sold in, sold out. It was crazy. I buy from stores in Quebec. That's all. And that's all I'll say. I'm still buying boxes. This is Weiss. Look, stocking up. You love to see it. What's cracking? Collectible Streets is a great set. Like, listen, you've got a friend in me. Play the Toy Story theme in your head because you have a friend in me. Nuka Pen is a good set. Or an Inner. Listen, you guys, this is the homies right here. These are the home. MTG Captain Logen SNC was also a good set. Gosh, you guys just get it. Like, listen, the stream chat this morning is just getting it. You love to see it. You love to see the chat. Just get it. Okay, so it looks like you guys want to see the coolest collection that I've never shown on YouTube. Well, it was shown once because I forgot the episode of May the Zoo Be With You comes out. It is from my original binder. When I started playing Magic the Gathering, I was given a binder from a friend to hold my cards in, and like everybody else, I put a bunch of stuff in the fold of my binder. This is my binder from when I was a kid. From when I was a kid. In this sleeve, we have a comic book, The Amazing Spider-Man and Captain America in Doctor Doom's Revenge. Oop, don't want to bend that. We have a 5th edition rulebook. There is a Barnes & Noble gift card that I doubt has anything on there. At the very bottom down there, there is a bumper sticker off a car that I bought off my friend that I took off of the car and put onto my binder when I got old enough. A 5th edition rulebook. And in the back, there are some early deck lists. Day of Judgment in the deck list. And then the night that I hit level 80 playing World of Warcraft. Yep. Ding, level 80. There is, from Origins, a Knights of the Dinner Table 04 comic book. That's, yes. This is the thing. In the sleeve of my binder, there is I believe, a play sheet from the original Kamigawa set. Back when I played Magic. There's a play sheet. There's another one from Betrayers, and there's a playbill from The Lion King the musical that I went to with my grandmother. But without further ado, it's time. Hold on, let me get this. I don't want to ruin my Knights of the Dinner Table. So this is a little insight into my pre-YouTube life. Oh, there's also, that's embarrassing. There's a phone number in there as well. I'm glad, let's not show that on stream. Let's whoops. The things you forget about being a kid. When you venture into the binder. Let's venture into the binder. Oh, this also says cards. This is a post-it on here. When we venture into the binder, we see my glorious Chub Toad collection. If you guys interact with MinMax Games at all, the owner, Peter, also collects Chub Toads, and you tell him that my collection is superior because it's in a binder, and he's got like 500. There's a blacked out Juggernaut, where you took a Sharpie and just black out the Juggernaut here. There are Zubats and a burned Luxodon Peacekeeper. You used to have a tradition at our game store. If you drafted and you got last, you got to do whatever you wanted with the last card, and we would add it to the binder. You could write on it, you could rip it, you could do whatever you want, and we kept a little collection through the store. But here it is. I'm going to pull it out of the binder. The most impressive collection of cards that I have never shown on YouTube. Are you ready, chat? Here we go. The anticipation builds. It is the entire collection of secret moves from the Lara Croft TCG. That is right. We have the entire collection of secret moves. Secret move 1 through secret move 9 from the Tomb Raider trading card game. That's right. You have before you digital greatness. A physical representation of digital greatness lies before you at this moment. This is the most amazing collection you will ever see on YouTube, guaranteed, or your money back. And especially because there's no money involved. Yeah, I have that collection in this binder. It's a wild time being a TCG enthusiast. I also have a large amount of the original Score Z Vegeta cards signed by the voice actor Chris Sabat. So we were really into that game. But that is the most incredible trading card game collection I currently own. All my serialized cards, my reserve list collection, all of it aside, it's all about Secret Move 1 through 9, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you so much for hanging out. I want to have another conversation with all of you guys. And before we get started, I want to kind of preface and talk about what this conversation is going to be about. Bro, what year were you born in? Like, listen. Don't come at me like that. Don't you dare come at me like that. How does Josh keep talking without breathing? Oh. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. You guys seem to remember the Lord of the Rings collection. Yes, hopefully I didn't bait you guys too hard. Don't be mad. I thought it was fun. This was a lot of fun. I was born in 88. I am 30 some odd at this point. My wife knows my age better than I do. But I want to have a conversation about indie trading card games. Yes, old man. Jim Williams, you're only allowed to do that because you supported this channel from the get-go. Jim Williams has been a local who's become a great friend and supported this channel since it's been kicked off. So I can't be too mad at him roasting me. I really want to be, though. I'm coming for you, Jim. Coming for you. I want to have a conversation about indie trading card games. And the reason I want to have this conversation is we are looking at something like Lorcana. Lorcana is right around the corner. Actually, before we have this, like, do you guys play any indie trading card games? If so, what do you play? I want to know. I'm going to end this poll right now. I want to know, do you play indie trading card games? So it looks like, did you guys buy anything from Lord of the Rings? Most of you bought things from Lord of the Rings, and that makes sense. Most people in Magic bought things from Lord of the Rings, it seems like. Jim Williams, you are 88. That is correct. You look 88, maybe even 89 on some days when you haven't gotten enough sleep. All right, I just lost a supporter. Let's go. All right. I'm putting a poll up. I want to know if you guys play indie trading card games. And this is relevant to the topic we're about to have. And let me know what indie trading card games you play in the chat. As you all know, I play, and I have a bunch of stuff here from sleeving up decks. I shot a video on my other channel, with John about Fab, so I still play Fab here and there. With the kid, it's obviously a lot harder. I wish Talishar was around when we were doing all the Fab coverage, because we could have done gameplay like nightly and gameplay streams. Like, Talishar's GOAT. If you haven't visited me on my other channel after you get done with this, it's at Trading Card Geeks, and I cover indie trading card game content. I put all my Fab content, any thoughts I have on Flesh and Blood over there. So if you're a viewer from back in those days, make sure you visit that channel and see kind of what I'm talking about over there. But I still love, some indie trading card games. I have a much bigger perspective, what I consider more correct perspective about indie trading card games now than I had before. I was one of the zealots that truly believed that Flesh and Blood was going to overtake Magic the Gathering. I thought for sure Flesh and Blood was going to rival Magic the Gathering and climb up in popularity. And as I started to collect more data, interact with the community, and have a lot of content around Flesh and Blood and go to all these events, which were incredible, I suddenly came to realize that Flesh and Blood might be the most successful indie trading card game, but it is still miles away. But when you see things like Lorcana on the horizon and Sorcery Contested Realms about to drop on the head of the community, you start to wonder, is there a possibility that a rival indie trading card game can catch up to and overtake Magic? And I believe this is a popular conversation in almost all of those circles, and thus I think it's worth talking about. Now, it's important to note that all of these indie trading card games do things incredibly, and I think all of them do things maybe even slightly better than Magic, but Magic the Gathering has something that they don't, and we're going to get into that right now. When it comes to these indie games, when you release an indie game and you're trying to make your place, make your mark in the community, you need to do a couple things. First, you have to be consistent. I view indie trading card games much like starting a YouTube channel, and when starting a YouTube channel, it was consistency that was key. Constantly being able to engage with an audience and have amazing conversations, build a community where you could be yourself and have, chats and engagement and things like that were crucial in building a small, albeit small channel. I'm like an indie channel, right? But with trading card games, it's, I believe, the same. You have to engage with that community and you have to be consistent. Now, whether that's a series of consistent releases, whether it's consistent engagement, or some kind of consistent structure for users of your game, you must be consistent. You must also build into some kind of hype. You have to speak to a community that's used to a hype cycle. And TCG enthusiasts like myself are super into a hype cycle. We're used to like the ebbs and flows, but then there's always the rise and fall of trading card game hype. But after every fall, there's always another rise. Think of it like How I Met Your Mother. It can't be all rise, right? It can't be Barney's hype mix and it's all rise. It has to rise and fall, and you have to lean into that and try to keep your lows as high, or lows still high, and try to get your rise a bit up there. But these indie trading card games are coming into a tough space because, as we've talked about with Magic the Gathering, you only have so much money to spend on trading cards. Like, listen, you and I, we don't own game stores. We don't have millions of dollars of budgets sitting in the back where we can just do whatever we want. We have to budget our monthly spend on these trading card games. And when it comes to an indie trading card game, what they're asking you to do is they're asking you to take money away from a hobby that you would normally engage with and use it to engage with something else. So if you're a trading card game enthusiast already, you're asking you to pull money out of your Magic spend and spend it somewhere else. And this is a tough thing to do. And to do that, you have to do something amazing. Using the indie trading card games we talked about in the example, I think there's some validity here. Flesh and Blood does an amazing job with gameplay experience. They really do. If you're looking for a competitive atmosphere where every play matters and you get to have a, let's call it a chess-like experience, Flesh and Blood does an incredible job of giving its users that. And because of that, there's a lot to chew on. But where Flesh and Blood falls short is the casual community. Flesh and Blood is not the most casual friendly experience, not only from playing, but from opening the product. I will always tell the story that when I learned to play, it was John and I sitting at my kitchen table, and I lost like 16 to 18, it might have even been 20 games in a row. He beat me down because it's so rewarding for the player that has the knowledge and is the better player. And because of that, it's hard to engage with Fab as a casual enthusiast. But sorcery is something that finds itself to be far more casual. In fact, they lean into saying, hey, we want to be casual. We're going to focus outside of competitive play and give you this casual play experience. And this is great. I believe that the best way to build a wide audience is to engage with your casual users. I think that is something that you are going to want to do 100% of the time. However, where sorcery then falls short is the idea of that rise and fall and that engagement, right? Sorcery right now is committed to one set a year, and I believe TCG enthusiasts are not going to, let's say, love that as much as possible. Now, that is subject to change. I believe the team at Sorcery is extremely intelligent, and they will be willing to shift that, but it's something that at this moment does concern me about the ebb and flow of the TCG world. And finally, Lorcana seems to get a little bit of both. Lorcana is going to be something that engages with a more casual audience. They're going to have a consistent release and try to follow those highs and those lows, but what they are going to miss, I believe, is the staying power of competitive and aggressive changes. I don't think that's something that's going to really stick with them for, I guess, any kind of long time, and because of this, I think they're going to fall short. So I say all this to finally say that I think all of these TCGs are awesome, but Magic has something that they don't. There's validity to being first to market. When you come to market first, you get the opportunity to gather a wide audience. And when Magic came to market, it didn't come trying to be the next big thing. It instead came to market trying to be something for enthusiasts of another IP, another hobby, mainly Dungeons and Dragons, to do in the meantime. And because of this, it got to build that small cult-like following. And being first to market means you have a bunch of time. And Magic now has 30 plus years, and because of this, they get to circumvent a lot of problems. They have a large enough community after sticking around for 30 years where they have the nostalgia pull. They have a large enough community where there is enough players to engage in the game at almost every level. You want to play highly competitive Magic? You can find a game. You want to play Pauper Magic? You can find a game. You want to play Commander? Oh, you bet you can find a game. And because of this, nobody in the community ever feels priced out or left out. Once you've truly learned how to engage with the different lanes of the community, there's something pretty much for everybody. Now, this is a problem I have with Commander Masters, but make sure you tune in. I'm going to talk about that this week. So all in all, I don't think a single indie trading card game can take over Magic the Gathering. We are moving into a digital age, right? We value collectibles slightly less over time. We value more the time we can spend and quickly engage with something and play a game and then put it back down. And because of that, digital clients are seemingly the way of the future. I truly believe that Magic will actually dwindle and die before a game can overtake it. And if Magic dwindles and dies, I do believe that might be the end of trading card games as we know them. There will be a massive pivot. But what do you think? I want to know in the comments section. That's my rant about indie trading card games trying to take over Magic the Gathering. I think this is an important conversation. I think it's a lot of fun. I want to hear from you guys in chat. I like to do these rants before I start off my day here. So let's see. What do you guys say in chat? Let's pop over. Thank you guys so much for listening to me, for hearing me out. Are we going to look at Cryptic Magic MTG Captain Low Trading? No, we're probably not going to look at Cryptic. JC's buying Sorcery Beta. Nice. Sorcery equals greatness. I'm currently opening Rise TCG. The gameplay is kind of hot mess, but the cards are beautiful. I have shout out Rise TCG. They sent me, or shout out Louis. He sent me a sample pack from Rise TCG. It was beautiful. Adam Moore just pre-ordered 4 boxes of Lorcana last night. Like, listen, I will be buying Lorcana for my little girl. I think that's, and for my nephews. My nephews are going to love Lorcana. I think Lorcana's got a wide audience there. If Fab is still indie, yes, Fab is still an indie trading card game. I believe their player base to still qualify as an indie trading card game. But listen, they have the most, make sure you're following at Trading Card Geeks. My video this week on the topic is, I think Flesh and Blood has the most opportunity to survive and will survive the Lorcana meteor that is rapidly heading towards TCG Earth, if you will. For one TCG and its MTG, like, listen, I totally hear you. The one TCG, as far as pulling on your pocketbook, that's just what other indie TCGs are trying to do, right? They're trying to pull your money out of Magic and try to convince you, hey, spend your money here. They're definitely trying to do that. You're older than Louis? Yes, I am older than Louis. Yes, Louis is the child. Louis is just the youngin', just the young fella. Louis a 90s kid. Yes. 2023 is a tough year to be an indie, I bet. Yes. Like, listen, Lorcana and Sorcery both have advantages that indie TCGs didn't have. But indie TCGs with zealot-like communities, with communities that are so ravenous, like your Flesh and Blood, I think are going to have amazing staying power. I think they're going to be able to withstand the destruction that's coming. But again, on the other channel, I got a whole video planned about stuff like that. Magic is mostly only regarding people who play card games in the first place. So regarding people who don't play card games. So Mosh, I would agree with you, but that's where Pokemon slots in a little bit, right? Like, Pokemon really speaks to that audience of people that like collecting things that they enjoy but don't play trading card games. Lorcana's trying to slide into that niche and then stand alongside that, but with Disney IP rather than Pokemon IP. So that's an interesting point, and I think that's definitely what they're trying to do. I hear their gameplay system, while it might be close to another gameplay system, but I think it's pretty good. It's hard for me to pony up to Predator Sorcery, but I couldn't stop thinking about it. There's only one alpha and beta release. The game looks amazing. Like, JC, listen, everyone who opens Sorcery, every time I watch Louis open Sorcery, I think, I should get a box. It's not in the cards for me right now, so I'm holding off. I'm holding back. I haven't tried Fab, but I probably love that too. I'm hesitant because my wallet is sad. Like, listen, Fab is one of those things. The commoner format is great in Flesh and Blood, but the community is just not big enough to support it. You don't have enough people trying to engage, trying to play commoner. So Fab isn't available in my country for distribution, not enough demand. They're doing a good job expanding globally. To their credit, they're doing a good job expanding globally. But yes, that's the problem with indie TCGs, right? You got to find a community. That's definitely hard. Hearthstone, I played a bit of Hearthstone like when it was first announced. I haven't played much Hearthstone since. So Adam, I haven't played much Hearthstone. Wildlands TCG thinks MTG's history makes it untouchable, and this is viable from a creator. The Wildlands TCG is an indie TCG that's up and coming and looking to hit the market, and because of that understanding that, hey, I'm not here to try to take down Magic, I think is key. You can't exist in that lane. I don't think it will go well. That's just my opinion. Indie TCG creators know far more than me about the creation of an indie TCG. Anyone ever tell you that you sound like Matt Pat? I don't know who Matt Pat is. So maybe? Who's Matt Pat? Is that good? Chat, tell me if that's good. Tell me if that's good. Have a great day. Neuron, thanks for hanging out. We were about to close the stream anyway. Neuron, thanks for hanging out. Warren, same, I got to get back to work. Drop in more often. Thank you so much, Warren. This is Wife for Fab. Literally picked up a Blitz deck. The game is fun. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So thank you all so much for listening to my rant. As we close out, let's take a look at the results of your poll. Most of the people in chat don't engage with an indie TCG. They look to engage with just Magic the Gathering. And listen, that's totally fine. This is a Magic channel. You'd expect that from a community like this. So thank you guys so much for listening to me. Thank you so much for the indie TCG conversation, for hanging out this morning. As most of you do, I have to get to my work. So thank you all so much for hanging out. This has been a blast. I know it's been a shorter week for news. I think there might be some big bombs dropping. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We got some big bombs dropping this week. Thank you all for hanging out. Let me give you guys one last cheers. I talked so much this morning. I had so much fun hanging out with you guys. I hope this was rewarding. I hope you have a fun conversation to have. I hope you got some entertainment to start your day. If you haven't yet, head over to Kitchen Table TCG. Check out this morning's episode of May the Zoo Be With You. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I went hard this morning on May the Zoo Be With You. I went hard, so fair warning. Let me know in the comment section if you get a chance to check that out. Until next time, I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys know me. My name is Josh. We will see you throughout the week, and obviously next Friday Morning Magic. I'm excited. We'll talk to you guys soon. Goodbye.